Going into my first practice of my sophomore season, I mean, we had a chip on our shoulder and we wanted to go get that Pac-12 championship. And as you can see, I started off early running that ball and making them miss early. And I told coach I'm gonna come to practice 100% every play, and I was throwing dots. Cam Baduki the third is not playing. Get in later in practice. I know the DBs we have, and I'm gonna try them every time. And I threw a dot. And coach said, "Great job practicing. You're in no danger of losing your starting position." Going into our first game against Virginia, started off intense. As you can see on 2nd and 9, Cam Baduki the third took that ball and was not playing. He bounced it out, juke, get up that field, break a tackle, and was not playing. But going into the next drive and coming into our season opener, did not start off well. On 1st and 10, I just threw the ball up and he got intercepted early on. And as you can see, he tried to return it for 6, but we brought him down. But here, as you can see on 1st and 10, Cam Baduki the third rolls out of the pocket, and as you can see, he puts a dot in his chest, but he drops the ball and it gets intercepted again. And at this point, Cam Baduki the third doesn't even want to pass the ball anymore. He ran it and hurdled and tried to get in that end zone. He didn't get in that time. He will get in that next play. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, getting out to that goal line, being patient, he throws another interception. This is by far the most interception he's ever thrown. But finally on 1st and 10, he connects with his favorite target, Jake Bobo, and Jake Bobo will stiff arm into that end zone for 6. Here, as you can see on 3rd and 6, I thought I had my tight end wide open, but it gets jumped and he intercepted again. This is my 4th interception of the game, and I think I might have just lost it, but Cam Baduki the third threw it up again, and that's his 5th interception that he's thrown. What's gotten into him, but he has to get it together, but he runs it in for 6. Getting late into the 4th quarter, I finally connect with my tight end for a TD, but it was too late. We going to lose the game, and I ended the game off of 4 total TDs and 261 yards. Going into our next game against 1-0 Washington, started off intense on 2nd and 5. As you can see, Cam Baduki the third rolls out of that pocket, and when he runs that ball, he juke, break a tackle, breaks another one, but he gets tackled. And after losing his first game, he has had enough, and on 2nd and 2, he will run that ball in for 6. Here, as you can see on 2nd and 10, he sit backs in that pocket, and oh my God, Brandon Pegan is wide open, but he falls to the ground. And that could have been 6, but going into the next play on 2nd and 10, as you can see, I will launch that ball to mid out of Molly, and he catches that ball, but he gets shoestring. Getting out to that goal line on 1st and goal, you know that 245-pound quarterback Cam Baduki the third will go in. On into the next play on 3rd and 1, I roll out of that pocket and complete a pass to Jake Bobo. He breaks a tackle, and he could go all the way, and oh my God, he is leaving him in the dust for 6. And as you can see, we will go on to win the game, and I get player of the game with 3 total TDs and 242 yards. Into our next game against 0-1 Texas, as you can see, I launched that ball up, and it did not end that well. He intercepted the ball, but he will get tackled, and oh my God, what is going on? And Cam Baduki the third has to get it together, but as you can see, he rolls out of the pocket, and I don't know what kind of throw that was, but he throws another interception. He is forcing every pass that he throws. If he has someone to count on, you know who he will count on, Jake Bobo. He throws a dot to him, and he will complete the pass, but he gets put straight down. But here, as you can see, going into the next play on 2nd and 10, Cam Baduki the third rolls out of that pocket, and he throws a dot to mid out of Molly, and he will get up that field, break a tackle, and he could go all the way, but he gets pushed out of bounds. Cam Baduki the third, he drop backs in that pocket and throws another interception. This is this DB's 2nd interception of the game, and things just are not going his way. But when throwing that ball fails him, running that ball could never fail you. Cam Baduki the third, as he gets outside, break a tackle, and he is not coming down. Getting down to that goal line here, as you can see on 3rd and 8, Cam Baduki the third rolls out of the pocket. He will break one tackle and throw a magnificent pass to his wide receiver. That wasn't enough. We still lose the game, and I end the game off of 1 total TD and 302 yards. Going into our next game against 1-2 Utah, started off intense. As you can see on 1st and 10, Cam Baduki the third throws a dot to Jake Bobo when he gets hit. Getting in great field position, we get a ball to Keegan Jones for 6. Just look how athletic Cam Baduki the third is as he rolls out of that pocket and completes a magnificent dot, but he will get wrapped and rolled. But going into the next play on 1st and 10, we have a read option, and you know Cam Baduki the third hits that hole, and he will go for another first down. Here, as you can see on 1st and 10, it's 21-21, and I throw a dot to Keegan Jones, and he stiff arms his way, but almost gets in. Coach took me out, but we still scored. But as you can see, we end him the old-fashioned way and nailed the ball, and I ended the game off with 144 passing yards, no TDs. Going into our next game against 3-1 Colorado, started off intense on 2nd and 8. I throw a dot to Brandon Pegan, and he tried to stiff arm him off of him. These tight ends that we have are just awesome. I complete a dot to David Preby, and he breaks a tackle, and we'll go in for 6. Here, as you can see on 2nd and 10, I'm not gonna lie, this D-line was rushing me, and they were coming, and I tripped myself up, but I got sacked, and I went down injured. I think that might have been turf toe, but on 3rd and 10, as you can see, I get hit for a safety. And I kind of didn't like how hard I got hit, but on 1st and 10, I'm gonna retaliate and throw it to Jake Bobo for a dot, but he gets hit. Going into the next play on 1st and goal, I found my running back out of the backfield, Keegan Jones, for another one. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, Cam Baduki third, doing what he does special, breaking tackles, and then rolling out of that pocket and putting that ball on the ground and juking, weaving, and getting up that field with bad intentions and making all of these defenders defenders miss. But here, as you can see on 3rd and goal, Cam Paducah III will get tripped up and fall into the end zone for 6, and we will go on to win the game. I get player of the game with 3 total TDs and 221 yards. Going into our next game against 4-1 Cal. Started off intense. On 1st and 10, I threw a dot to Josiah Norwood, and he almost went in for 6. Every time we get to that goal line, Cam Paducah III punches it in. We're going into the next drive on 2nd and 3. I completed pass to Michael Ezeki for another touchdown. On 2nd and 10, boom! Oh my God, he hurt me. And I wasn't taking that, so I drove down the field and punched it in again and told him where was he at. Ever since that hit, I was toting the ball as hard as I could. On 1st juke, I was getting up that field with bad intentions and throwing defenders off of me. But as you can see, we go on to end them boys the old-fashioned way and win the ball game. And as you can see, I ended the game off with 5 total TDs and 301 yards. Going into our next game against 1-2 Memphis. Started off intense. On 1st and 10, as you can see, Cam Paducah III was being patient. He found no target, so he rolled out of that pocket and he will hit that left sideline, make a miss, and as you can see, he goes down and gets boom. And he needs to start sliding more often. But going into the next one on 2nd and 10, he rolls out again and completes a dot to Michael Ezeki. He toe taps his feet down. One thing about Cam Paducah III, he is not afraid of contact. On 1st and 10, as you can see, he gets in open space and he was zigzagging and juking and weaving and getting down. But here, as you can see on 3rd and 6, Cam Paducah III will roll out of that pocket again and outrun this D lineman. Actually, he breaks a tackle of that D lineman and throws a pass before he goes out of bounds, and he dives and catches it. Being down 27-13, Cam Paducah III wanted to react, so he completes a pass to Mid Adamali, and he says goodbye, touchdown. Here, as you can see on 2nd and 2, I told you about Cam Paducah III being physical. He goes down, boom, in the end zone for 6. With 29 seconds on the clock on 1st and goal, Cam Paducah III runs it in, and we go on to win the game. And I get player of the game with 3 total TDs and 258 yards. On to our next game against number 4, 5-0 Oregon. Start off intense on 1st and 10. As you can see, Cam Paducah III throws a dot to Logan Lawyer, but he steps out of bounds. Here, as you can see, going into the next play on 1st and 10, he rolls out of the pocket and just launches a bomb up the field, but it gets intercepted by the DB, and the DB tries to return, and Cam Paducah III tries to come in and tackle him, but he misses. Going into the next play on 2nd and 4, Cam Paducah III was not being patient and forcing balls all game, and he threw another interception, and this time he tried to hit him, and he ran right past him, and things are just not going his way at all. As you can see, going to the next play on 1st and 10, Cam Paducah III tucks that ball, and he will hurdle up, but he gets put down. Here, as you can see on 3rd and goal, I said I'm gonna try again. I went up and went in for 6. But as you can see, that would be the only touchdown of the game. It is 35-7, and I break one tackle, and then I break another tackle, and I will roll out and throw it all the way across the field. Nearly gets interception, and we still go on to lose the game. And I end the game off of 1 total TD and 293 yards. To our next game against 4-4 Stanford. Started off intense. As you can see on 2nd and 11, I will roll out and throw that ball before he gets to me, and Logan Lawyer takes it. He breaks the tackle, and then he gets tackled. As you can see, we started off intense. On 1st and goal, Cam Paducah III will take it in for 6. And we were absolutely fired up. But going into the next play on 1st and goal, I was sitting in that pocket and threw an interception. And I mean, I'm throwing an interception every game now, and that has to change. But going into the next play on 1st and 10, Cam Paducah III rolls out of that pocket again and throws a dot, and he will catch that ball and hit that left sideline, and he could go all the way, but he get pushed out. And that puts us in great position. But on 1st and goal, as you can see, I hit my tight end for 6. Here, as you can see, going into the next play on 1st and 10, Cam Paducah III lowers his head, and he will run him over. Just look how physical he is. On 1st and 10, he runs him over and somehow gets the ball to Jake Bobo, and he toe taps his feet in. Get it back down to that goal line. As you can see, I roll out of that pocket and dump it off to Logan Lawyer. He goes in for 6. We will go on to win the game, and I end the game off with 4 total TDs and 326 yards. On to our next game against 3-5 Arizona. Did not start off well. On 1st and 15, I forced the ball in there, and it got intercepted early on. And I mean, I don't know what's been going on with me these past weeks. Going into the next play on 2nd and 10, I have a read option. I juke, get up that field and lower my head, and no one gets in my way. Going into the next play on 2nd and 1, as you can see, I will hurdle up and try to get in that end zone, but I don't. But as you can see on 1st and 10, I was staying patient back in that backfield, and I threw that ball up, and he catches it, and he will deliver and keep going for more yards. To the next play on 2nd and 10, I hit him with a pump fake and rolled out of that pocket, and this D lineman was swarming me, and he gets me with a sack. Here, as you can see on 1st and 10, we have a fake play action, and I roll out of that pocket and hit Sean Murrell, and he breaks one tackle and almost goes for 6. But going into that next play on 2nd and goal, I will roll back out of that backfield and go in for a tutty. And on 1st and 10, look how I step up in that pocket and throw a laser to Logan Lawyer. Here, as you can see on 1st and goal, Cam Paducah III was sitting, seeing no target, so he tucked that ball, and he will go almost for for 6, but he gets stopped. But on 2nd and goal, Cam Baduki the third will have a play action, but runs in for 6. Going into our next play on 1st and 10, it is now 34-45, and we are down and we need to score. And as you can see, I will complete a pass to Jake Bobo, and he keeps on going up that field for more yards. As you can see, it's a little too late, but on 1st and goal, I will go in and score. And coach said we need to go for 2, so we got back on that ball, and Cam Baduki the third rolls out, and as you can see, breaks a tackle and goes in, and we go on to lose the game. And I end the game off with 5 total touchdowns and 400 yards. Going into our next game against 9-0 Arizona State, we have to knock them off. But going into the first play on 1st and 10, as you can see, I connect with Jake Bobo, and he fights for 6. We're driving down to that goal line every time, and I throw a laser to Logan Loya, and we are not playing. But on 1st and 10, as you can see, I throw another laser to Logan Loya, and that's a 29-yard reception. Cam Baduki the third has some heart on 1st and goal. As you can see, he rolls out of that pocket, and he will go up like Superman 4-6, and he was fired up. And I just wonder, where was this at all season? I mean, we are running the score up on Arizona State, and they cannot stop us at all. And on 3rd and 13, I almost throw a dot to Jake. He dropped a one-handed pass, but as you can see, we going to win the game. I end the game off of 5 total TDs and 372 yards. Going into our next game against 5-5 USC, started off intense on 1st and 10. As you can see, I connected with Brandon Pegan early on for a 22-yard reception. Just when we were driving down the field on 1st and 10, Cam Baduki the third, he is still forcing passes to his wide receiver and throws an interception. I get up and lay a hit on him. But here, as you can see, going into the next play on 1st and 10, I complete a pass to Brandon Pegan, and he will get up that field and lower his shoulder, but he steps out. Going into the next play on 2nd and 7, I loaded back and threw a bomb to Jake Bobo, and he will catch it on 2 defenders. The big 245-pound quarterback will punch that ball in. Going into the next play on 2nd and 4, as you can see, I'm sitting back in that pocket, and I will connect with Deshaun Burrell as he lowers that shoulder, and he lays that boom. Here, as you can see, going into the next play on 1st and 10, I will roll out of that pocket, Cam Baduki the third, and he will go, and he goes up, and oh my God, I about got injured. Going into the next play on 2nd and goal, I will roll out of that pocket, and Cam Baduki the third goes in because he's strong. It doesn't matter how good of a game he has, we are still down 42-28. He will go out with some respect on 2nd and goal. He runs that ball, and he lays that boom for 6, and we lose the game. I end the game off with 3 rushing TDs, and as you can see, I get the Walter Camp Award, and I was the runner-up again. I was 3rd as the Heisman contender. Here was the ending of my stats from my freshman to my sophomore season, and it wasn't good. I might have had the most interceptions at quarterback in college football. With that being said, I will not attend the bowl game because I will be entering the transfer portal with 2 years of eligibility left. Drop a comment down below if you think this is a good idea for Cam Baduki the third, because it's a chance that he will not get picked up, but he can also get picked up again.